When I was a kid, my grandpa slaughtered the old goat that had been with our family for 28 years. Grandma stomped her feet in fury and cried, "That goat has grown a spirit. It's got human awareness. How could you kill it?" Grandpa's face was dark and cold. He said, "Someone's coming tonight. We can't let them go hungry." I don't know when it started, but Grandpa became indifferent, emotionless, even toward family. Grandma, furious, shouted, "You've lost your mind. We live halfway up the mountain, and now we're snowed in. How could anyone possibly come?" Grandpa acted like he didn't hear her. He picked up the knife and began skinning the goat. Grandma tried to grab the knife, but she was no match for his strength. Grandpa shoved her aside, nearly knocked her down. With a cold face, he said, "Boil some water. We need the mutton stewed before dark." Grandma frowned and pleaded, "Old man, that goat's not right. We shouldn't eat it. Please, just treat it like a person. Give it a proper burial, a name, a tombstone, ask its forgiveness. Only then will this be over." Grandpa scowled. "If you want to stay alive, do as I say." With that, he tore off the goat's skin and hung it on the clothesline. The wind blew, carrying a foul stench, gamey goat mixed with blood. Grandma stood there with a long sigh. She knew Grandpa was stubborn, and nothing could stop him. She led me into the storage room to boil water. Gripping my shoulders, she said, "Luke, listen to Grandma. Tonight, we're not eating mutton. Not a single bite. If you behave, I'll take you to the city to buy roast chicken and candied hawthorn." I nodded. "Okay." Seeing me agree, Grandma relaxed a little. She added, "Not one bite. You hear me? Don't even drink the soup. Not a drop." I whispered, "Don't worry, Grandma. I won't touch the meat or the broth. I'm scared of that goat. When Grandpa killed it, I saw it. It wasn't right. The way it looked at Grandpa, like it was thinking. It didn't feel like a goat. It felt like a person." As soon as I said that, Grandma's expression changed. She pulled me into a tight hug and whispered, "Luke, stay away from your grandpa." I nodded. "Got it." Just then, Grandpa walked in carrying half a basin of goat meat. His face and clothes were smeared with blood. "Is the water hot?" he asked. Grandma forced a dry laugh. "It's ready." She lifted the lid. The pot was steaming. Grandpa dumped the meat in and said, "Don't add any seasoning." Grandma blinked in surprise. "Not even salt?" Grandpa nodded. "How are people supposed to eat it without salt?" she asked, confused. Grandpa narrowed his eyes and said nothing. He turned and went out into the yard. The sky darkened. Snowflakes began to fall. It was cold. Grandma ladled the cooked mutton into a basin. It smelled delicious. I swallowed involuntarily. Grandma saw me swallow and scolded, "Luke, not a single bite." I nodded. "Okay." Afraid I might sneak some, she took me out to the yard. Grandpa was smoking there. "The mutton's done," Grandma said. "But no one's here." Grandpa took a few puffs of his pipe and said, "They're here." No sooner had he said it than I heard footsteps at the gate. In the moonlight, I saw a woman enter the yard. Her face was deathly pale, her eyes bloodshot, creepy as hell. If not for her shadow, I'd have thought she was a ghost. Even Grandma was startled by her appearance. She gently asked, "Miss, what brings you here so late?" The woman looked pitiful. "Auntie, the mountain's sealed by snow. I got separated from my husband. I saw a light from halfway up the slope and came this way. I haven't eaten in 2 days. I'm starving." When she said "I'm starving," she put extra force into the words. Her eyes bulged, bloodshot lines growing deeper, so red they looked ready to bleed. She looked like a demon, hungry for flesh. I was so scared I ducked behind Grandma. clutching Grandpa's coat tightly. The woman forced a smile and took a few small steps forward, asking sweetly, "Auntie, I'm really hungry. Do you have any cooked mutton?" Her voice was strange, part threatening, part expectant. Like if she didn't get meat, she'd eat us instead. Grandma was too scared to respond. The woman got closer. Grandpa's cold voice rang out. "It's in the pot!" He brought out the basin of mutton, still steaming. The woman froze for a second, then grinned. "Uncle, that's not enough. I haven't eaten in 2 days." Grandpa stared at her coldly. "There's only half a basin." He set it on the ground. The woman suddenly dropped to her knees and started shoving meat into her mouth with her hands. She even crunched the bones. The ones too big to chew, she swallowed whole. Grandma frowned and pulled Grandpa aside. In a whisper, she said, "That girl's not human. She's a starving ghost." The moment she said that, the woman froze. She snapped her head toward Grandma, eyes gleaming with malice. Then she grinned a gaping, toothless black hole. Grandma panicked and looked away toward Grandpa. He took 2 slow puffs of his pipe and said coldly, "Clean up the west room. Let Emily stay the night." Grandma was stunned. "Who's Emily?" Grandpa pointed at the woman, irritated. "Just get the room ready." Grandma's brows furrowed. She snapped, "You know her?" Her anger made Grandpa angrier. He even shoved her and barked, "Go." Just then, the woman burst out laughing. The sound was hollow and ghostly. She had finished all the meat and was now licking scraps off the basin with a long, forked tongue like a snake's. Grandma shouted, "I'm not doing it. If someone's cleaning that room, it's gonna be you." She grabbed me, about to head to the east room. Grandpa blocked her, eyes fierce. "You clean the room. Now." He looked like he might strangle her if she refused. Grandma didn't dare say no. She stormed off to the west room. Moments later, she came back, furious. "Jack, you're courting death." No sooner had she spoken than the woman leaned in with a smile. "Auntie, Jack's an idiot. He treats you like crap. Honestly, you should kill him." At some point, the woman had a sharp knife in her hand. She passed it to Grandma. Grandma took it and glared at Grandpa, like he was her worst enemy. The woman laughed that eerie laugh again, whispering by Grandma's side, "Kill him. Just kill him. A man like that is nothing but trouble." Her voice grew sharper, more menacing. Her eyes glowed red, like a ghost woman. Grandpa's face was stiff. He looked at the woman and said, "The west room's ready. Stay one night. Head down the mountain at dawn." The woman shot him a hateful look and went inside. Grandma's hand went limp. The knife clattered to the floor with a sharp clang. She frowned. What just happened? Before she could think, Grandpa said, "Let's talk inside." We all went inside. Grandpa shut the door and whispered, "Tonight, the woman in the west room will knock 3 times. First time, she'll ask Luke to fetch water for her." Before he finished, Grandma interrupted. "No way, Luke's not leaving this house tonight. Who the hell is that woman? Why's she here? If you ask me, we should have thrown her out already. She reeks of evil." Grandpa took a deep breath and exhaled. "If we want to live, do what I say." He looked at me. "Luke, when she asks you to fetch water, go fill her vat. No matter what you hear or see, say nothing. Just fetch 3 buckets. That's all it takes to fill it. Once you're done, come straight back. No matter what she says, don't stay. Got it?" I nodded. "Got it." The words had barely left my mouth when we heard 3 knocks. The woman's voice floated through the door, airy and strange. "Uncle, I'm thirsty. The vat's empty. Can Luke help me fetch some water?" Grandma's face changed. She clutched me tightly and said, "No, Luke's not going. I won't allow it." Grandpa frowned. "Let go." If Luke doesn't go, she'll break in. And then we're all dead." Tears welled up in Grandma's eyes. "You heartless old bastard. Luke's our grandson. That woman at the door isn't right, and you still want to send him out there? You've gone insane." Just then, the woman's voice came again, angrier this time. "Uncle, I'm thirsty. Send Luke to fetch some water." Grandpa's strength overpowered Grandma's. He yanked me from her arms. "Luke, remember what I said. Go." He picked me up from the Kang bed and opened the east room door, shoving me outside. It was freezing. The woman's hand landed on the back of my neck. She crouched and smiled. "Luke, how old are you?" As she spoke, a foul smell like old mutton hit me. Her pupils had turned horizontal, just like the goat's, and she stared at me intently. My legs gave out, and I collapsed to the ground. She smiled at my fear and asked again, "Luke, how old are you?" She was trying to get me to speak. I quickly covered my mouth with my hand. Her smile froze. Her eyes turned icy. My scalp prickled. I didn't dare look at her. I was terrified of what I might see. I turned my face away and got up, walking toward the well. Just as I reached it, she grabbed my shoulder. Her hand was cold and pale like a ghost's. "Luke," she said sweetly, "don't be in such a rush. Come inside for a bit. I've got candy for you. Don't be scared. I won't hurt you." My heart jumped to my throat. I was drenched in cold sweat. She nudged my shoulder again. "Luke, I've got milk candy right here. Turn around and look." I ignored her and tossed the bucket into the well. When she saw I wasn't responding, she leaned in. I quickly shut my eyes. I couldn't look at her. Just a moment ago, I'd seen her face reflected in the well. It was twisted and shattered, blood tears streaming from her eyes, full of hate, terrifying. I didn't dare look at her up close. I was afraid I'd scream. I knew she was right in front of me, watching. I kept my eyes shut and, by habit, drew the bucket up blind. I carried it toward the west room. She followed right behind me. As I neared the door, I opened my eyes. The room was pitch black, not a glimmer of light. Even with the moon out tonight, its light didn't touch that room. I remembered the water vat in the west room was beside the Kang. I still had to walk further in. I was terrified, afraid of what I might run into. The woman must have sensed it, because she said from behind me, giggling, "Luke, it's dark inside. Want me to turn the light on for you?" She was still trying to get me to talk. I clenched my teeth and carried the bucket into the room. It was pitch dark, and I could only rely on memory to feel my way in. What used to be just a few steps now felt like an endless abyss. I walked and walked, but never touched the vat. I was anxious and scared. Suddenly, the woman's voice came from behind me again. "Luke, I'm so thirsty. Please, just give me a sip." Her voice was urgent. Like if I didn't give her water, she'd snatch it. Grandpa had said it took 3 buckets to fill the vat. This water wasn't for her. I said nothing and kept groping around. Suddenly, I felt the light switch. Delighted, I flipped it on. At least I could see the vat now. Click, the light came on. At that instant, I saw her sitting on the water vat, glaring at me with a vicious look, like she wanted to eat me alive. I mustered my courage, walked over, and poured the water in. Then I took the empty bucket back out into the yard. I glanced behind me. She hadn't followed. I filled the second bucket, brought it in, and she was there, standing in the room, coldly watching me. I poured the second bucket into the vat and rushed to fill the third. As soon as I did, the woman followed, but instead of trailing me, she yanked the goat skin off the clothesline and carried it into the west room. I didn't have time to think. I took the third bucket in and poured it into the vat. Just as I was about to leave, she blocked my way. Pale-faced, she smiled and said, "Luke, don't go. I'll sew you a winter coat from this goat skin. Feel it, it's so soft. She held the goat skin out to me, urging me to touch it. I hid both hands behind my back and stepped away. The stench from her was overwhelming, making me nauseous. I climbed onto the kang, trying to escape through the window, but she grabbed my ankle and said in a chilling voice, "Luke, don't go. Stay with me." Her voice sent shivers down my spine. I didn't dare provoke her. I was afraid she'd kill me. I climbed back down, and she visibly brightened. She draped the goat skin over my shoulders and grinned wide. Her grin was terrifying, especially with her eyes fixed on me like that. Suddenly, she hugged me and gently patted my back. In a soft voice, she said, "Luke, I'm your real mother. Call me Mama so I can take you away." Tears streamed down her face. Her once hateful expression now seemed full of sorrow. My mother? I'd never seen her. I'd been raised in the mountains since birth, but I'd seen this woman in my dreams of this very night. I rubbed my head, my mind was in chaos. Seeing me silent, she held me tighter. Crying, she pleaded, "Luke, wake up. I went through so much to find you. Just say one word, let Mama take you away. Please, just say something." She shook me. Watching her cry made my chest ache. I reached out to wipe her tears. Her face was icy, bone-chilling like winter well water. Still crying, she said, "Luke, just call me Mama. I'll take you to live in town. Your grandparents lied. You were kidnapped. Could she really be my mother?" I'd never called anyone that. The word had been buried in my heart all my life. I'd always wanted to say it, but had no one to say it to. My lips trembled. I was just about to call her Mama when I heard a rooster crow. It hit me like a slap. I staggered back. She crouched before me, mouth agape, glaring at me like a beast. That wasn't my mother. She was a demon wanting to eat me. I shoved her and bolted for the east room. She chased after me, her ghostly wails echoing behind. She was right on my heels. I ran with everything I had. The east room door was open. I reached it, and Grandpa yanked me inside. Slam! He shut the door. I collapsed on the kang, terrified. If not for that rooster, I'd be dead. Crying, I said, "She's not human. She's a ghost." Grandma patted my back, panicked. "Jack, at dawn, we need to get a Taoist to drive her out." Grandpa frowned. "She's not a ghost." "If she's not a ghost, then what is she?" Grandma asked. Grandpa puffed his pipe, coughed, and said, "The woman in the west room will knock again. This time she'll ask you to help sew a coat. Remember, only sew 8 stitches. No matter what she says, come back after 8. Don't stay there." I interrupted. "She cried and said she's my mother. Said she wanted to take me away. Asked me to talk to her. I almost called her Mama, if not for the rooster." Grandma stroked my head, eyes filled with worry. "Jack, what's going on? Are you hiding something?" Grandpa looked away. "If you want to live, remember what I said." Just then, knock, knock, knock. She was back. Her airy voice came through the door. "Auntie, I'm so cold. Please make me a coat." Grandma frowned. "Jack, do I have to go?" Grandpa sighed. "Just remember 8 stitches, then leave. Don't stay." "What happens if I stay?" she asked. Grandpa whispered, "You'll die a terrible death." Her eyes went wide. "I'm not going. That's a ghost at the door. If you don't go, she'll come in and we'll all die," Grandpa said. Grandma clung to the wall. "I don't believe it. Let's barricade the door. I don't believe she can get in." Just then, the woman's voice came again, clearly annoyed. "Auntie, come out." "I'm freezing to death." Grandpa grabbed Grandma's arm and pulled her down from the kang. "There's no time. Do as I say. Survive tonight, and it'll all be over." Grandma froze for a few seconds. Before she could speak, Grandpa shoved her outside. She pounded on the door. "Jack, open the door!" Grandpa sighed and paced nervously inside. Outside, the woman cooed. "Auntie, it's cold. Please sew me a coat." Then Grandma screamed a sharp, terrified cry. I rushed to the window and saw her collapsed on the ground, shouting, "A ghost! A ghost!" The woman tilted her head and laughed, shoulders trembling with that chilling sound. Grandpa clenched his fists and pounded the glass. Bang! Bang! Grandma scrambled up, slapping the window. "Jack! Open up! Let me in!" Grandpa pointed to the west room, signaling her to go there. "Open up!" she cried again. Suddenly, the woman leaned over and whispered in her ear, "Mama, I'm Emily. Don't you remember me?" Grandma froze, then turned to look at her. The woman's eyes twitched. Pale as death, she held Grandma's hand. "Mama, it's cold in the well. Please sew me a coat." I'd heard as a child that I had an aunt who died at birth, never even got a name. This woman was clearly lying. I said, "Grandpa, she's tricking Grandma. She's in danger. Open the door, please." Grandpa frowned. "Your grandma's frail, she probably won't make it." Then he covered my mouth, silencing me. The woman placed a hand on Grandma's shoulder again, pitifully saying, "Mama, why won't you speak? Have you forgotten me?" Grandma burst into tears. "Emily, I'm sorry. I'll make you the coat now." Seeing her agree, the woman smiled smugly and led her to the west room, saying, "Mama, don't go. Let's talk tonight." They entered the west room. The light was on. Grandpa sighed, looking conflicted. I asked, "Grandpa, what about Grandma?" He patted my head. "Luke, she's under that woman's spell. She's gone." My heart ached. "Is there really no way to save her?" Grandpa frowned. "There is, but it's dangerous." "What is it?" I asked. "Luke, you're a virgin boy. Only you can save her." "How?" I asked anxiously. "Go to the west room and wake her. When she reaches the 8th stitch, call her back." I froze, picturing that terrifying woman. I was scared, but I didn't want Grandma to die. As I hesitated, a voice rose from my throat. "I'll do it." Was that really me? While I was still confused, Grandpa said, "Luke, just hang on. After tonight, it'll all be over." Then, he took a bowl of blood from the cabinet goat's blood. I'd seen him bring it in earlier. He smeared it on my face. It reeked so foul I nearly threw up. He gripped my shoulders. "Remember, call your grandma after the 8th stitch. Bring her back." I nodded. "Okay." I stepped out. Snow was falling thick, the wind so strong I could barely open my eyes. I pushed through the snow into the west room. Grandma and the woman were on the kang. Grandma was stitching the coat on the 6th stitch. "Grandma," I said. She didn't respond, eyes fixed on the goat skin. I nudged her arm. She looked blank, soulless. "7th stitch," she murmured. "Mama, hurry up," the woman begged. "I'm freezing." She turned to me and grinned slyly, eyes full of malice. I grabbed Grandma's hand. "Grandma, wake up! Come with me!" As soon as I shouted, the woman's face twisted in rage. I didn't dare breathe. "Luke," she hissed. "Turn off the light. I'll give you candy." Her face was contorted with fury, but she didn't touch me. Was she afraid of the goat blood? As I wondered, Grandma's eyes twitched like she was fighting a dream. The woman noticed. "Mama, hurry," she begged. "I'm freezing." Her voice was soft, but her face twisted. Bloody tears dripping from her eyes was anything but. Her voice was the only thing pitiful about her. I clutched Grandma's arm. "Grandma, wake up! My aunt's been dead for years." Her eyes shifted slowly. She stitched the 8th stitch. The woman grinned. "Mama, this coat's warm, but the sleeves are off. Just one more stitch." I clung to Grandma's hand and yelled, "Grandma! Grandma! No more stitches! Wake up!" My shouts shook dirt from the walls. The woman leaned close, glaring like she'd devour me. I didn't care. I kept shouting, "Grandma! Wake up! Please!" I gripped her so hard, my nails dug into her skin. She flinched, turned to me, her soul returning. "It's the 8th stitch," I said. "Come with me." Her eyes widened. She looked down at the goat skin, bloody and stinking. Suddenly, she threw it aside. Grabbing my hand, she said, "Let's go." Back to the east room. The woman blocked our way, grinning grotesquely. "Auntie, the coat's not done. One more stitch, and I'll let you go." Grandma shot her a glare, said nothing, and dragged me out. Snow was a foot deep. She carried me into the east room. The woman stood in the west doorway, watching us. Inside, Grandpa wiped the blood from my face, visibly relieved. "We've made it. No more suffering," he said. "What do you mean?" Grandma asked. He smiled. "I'll tell you in the morning." "It really was close," Grandma said. "If not for Luke, I'd be dead." She sighed. Grandpa nodded. "Luke saved us," Grandma asked. "Will she come back?" "She will," Grandpa replied. "She's coming for me next." Grandma frowned. "Be careful." Right then, knock, knock, knock. The woman's voice floated in. "Uncle, the knife I left on the beam is gone. Can you help me find it?" Grandpa frowned and pulled an axe from the cabinet. "What's that for?" Grandma asked. "To kill the goat," he replied coldly. He opened the east room door. In the moonlight, the woman's shadow was a standing goat. Grandpa stepped out, axe in hand, and shut the door behind him. Outside, the woman said softly, "Uncle, it's in the west room. Come with me." Her voice was gentle, tempting. I rushed to the window. In the moonlight, I saw the woman clinging to Grandpa, her hands caressing his neck seductively. Grandpa's face was blank as he walked toward the west room. She clung to him tightly. Soon, they were both inside. Grandma frowned, eyes fixed on the west room. Suddenly, the light went out. Grandpa came out. The woman wrapped around him. "Uncle, come back in. It's cold out here," she purred. Her voice was sweet, but her face was monstrous, a ghost through and through. Grandpa pulled out the axe and swung it at her neck. She shrieked like a goat, "Me!" a sound that chilled the blood. Her face twisted. She tried to run, but Grandpa pinned her down and hacked at her a dozen times. Blood splattered everywhere. Grandma rushed out. "Jack, is it over?" He shook his head. "Tomorrow morning, her husband will come." Grandma froze. "Her husband? Then what do we do?" Grandpa said. "First, we bury the woman." "Where?" she asked. "In the snow," he replied. Then he shaped her into a snowman and left her in the yard. Grandma frowned. "Jack, it's not safe to leave her body out here. Let's take her to the back mountain and bury her." Grandpa shook his head. "She has to stay in the yard." He seemed to be following some kind of rule, doing things strictly by the book. Grandma sighed. "When her husband shows up in the morning, what do we say?" Grandpa said. "Boil the rest of the mutton. Don't add salt. When the man arrives, serve him meat. If he asks about the woman, say we've never seen her. He'll search the yard. When he finds her, then kill him. You must wait until he finds her. Only then can we kill him." Grandma gritted her teeth and said coldly, "Okay." The next morning, just at dawn, a man entered our yard. He was tall, burly, with a face full of flesh. His voice was rough. "Uncle, The mountain sealed. I haven't eaten in 2 days. Bring out the mutton. He had the body of a bear, but the face of a goat, long and narrow. Grandpa brought out the half basin of meat from the storeroom and set it on the ground. The man sat cross-legged and started eating with his hands. Before long, the basin was clean. Then he asked, "Uncle, I got separated from my woman. Have you seen her?" Grandpa shook his head. "Nope." As soon as Grandpa answered, the man stepped forward and grabbed his wrist, pulling his hand up to his nose and sniffing. In a low voice, he said, "You killed her. I smell her blood." At those words, Grandma's face changed. She wanted to speak, but Grandpa signaled her to stay quiet. He looked at the man and said, "We live halfway up the mountain. Travelers often stop by. I really don't remember. Maybe take a look around the yard?" The man's eyes darted around. Then he let go of Grandpa's hand and said coldly, "If I find her, none of you are walking out alive." He headed into the east room. Grandpa and Grandma exchanged a look. She asked, "Jack, that guy's huge. How are we supposed to kill him?" Grandpa said, "Come with me to the storeroom." He let us in. Inside was a pile of bones, all from the old goat. Grandpa picked up a sharp piece of bone. "If we sharpen this, it can kill him." Grandma hurried to get a whetstone. Grandpa started grinding the goat bone. "Won't the sound give us away?" she asked. "Don't worry. Right now, he's only focused on finding the woman." Just as he spoke, the man entered. He didn't even glance at us, just started rummaging through the storeroom, even checking the rafters. After tearing through the rafters, he went to search the west room. Grandpa, done sharpening the bone, walked into the yard. The man came out, his face full of malice. "Old man, where is she?" He stood just half a meter from the snowman. Grandpa narrowed his eyes. "I really don't know. I haven't seen your woman." "Liar!" the man barked. Grandpa grinned, deliberately provoking him. He pointed at the man. "That's your woman? Sounds like a lie to me. Maybe she doesn't exist." The man's face changed. He shot Grandpa a deadly glare, then kicked the snowman hard. A hole split open and blood flowed out. Looking closely, half the woman's face was exposed. It hadn't decayed in the winter cold. Her dead eyes stared straight at our yard. The man froze, then gave a twisted grin. He brushed the snow away, revealing her whole body. Grandpa's hand was hidden behind his back, gripping the goat bone tight. He crept toward the man. The man gave a strange laugh. "None of you are making it out alive." As he spoke, his face morphed into that of a ghoul. He lunged at Grandpa, but Grandpa stabbed the sharpened goat bone into his neck. Blood poured everywhere. The man staggered twice, then collapsed. Grandpa smiled. "They're dead. They're all dead." As soon as he spoke, both corpses started to blur, then vanished. Grandma's eyes widened. "Jack, what's going on?" Just then, a plaque fell from the roof of the east room. It read, "Home at Hillside." Grandpa smiled. No more suffering. No more death. The moment he said that, I felt dizzy. My body staggered. Grandma and Grandpa were the same. None of us could stand upright. Just as I felt like I might pass out, I heard an ethereal voice. "System error. Patching now." When I opened my eyes again, a goat's face loomed above me. I jolted upright. I was in the goat pen. The old goat chewed hay, staring at me with a strange look, like it was deep in thought. Then I heard footsteps. Grandpa entered, holding a knife. He pulled the old goat out of the pen. The goat turned back to look at me, and for the first time, I saw sarcasm in a goat's face. Grandpa slaughtered the old goat. Grandma stomped her feet and shouted, "That goat has become a spirit. It's got a human mind. How could you kill it?" Grandpa replied, "It's just an animal. Don't act like it's something else." Cold sweat ran down my back.